Hey, what's up, guys? I figured the easiest way for us to test that new way of doing the BB centering on the current setup that I built Superbirds probably the last 5 or so years. So this one, this one's set up like that on the inside as far as the uh, where the valve body or where the solenoid is set, and it has the Magnus Op seal and all that in it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this hopper and run it through this one and see if we get double shots. But first, I was thinking about it, and this is the shutoff valve that goes to this one. And it's been kind of annoying because it doesn't vent. It's not self-venting. And I attempted to remedy that a while back, and it was not really successful. What makes them self-venting is, let me clean some of this up. All right, what makes them self-venting is the pin inside them has two different diameters, and I must have made this one, and the smaller diameter points out. So we'll use this for example, which is what's inside here, except we've got a custom made one that restricts the flow. But anyway, it sits in here like so, and when this gets turned towards the bottle, it pushes that pin out, which presses on your regulator valve. So when you want to shut the air off, you screw this back towards the gun, and the valve, it's spring loaded, it pushes on that until it can't push on it anymore. And if you just have a straight pin, it's not gonna allow any air through that seal. But the idea is if you have a second smaller outer dimension on that pin, is that this seal's held in place. It's like it's held flat in place, so it can't come out. But anyway, when this pin comes down past a certain point, it allows air through there. So I think when I made this pin, I don't even remember if I made it or not. I just didn't step it down far enough. But it got me thinking about it. Said, well, I want to fix that today because it's just been kind of annoying. I got to thinking about it even more, and a lot of these don't come with the step down pin. And I was trying to think of a way that, that could be done without a lathe. And I think I came up with something. So we're going to try it on the straight pin that's in it. So you can just pull it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. What I'm planning on doing is just getting a pair of vice grips and a file and seeing if we can't just file a flat spot on that. So let me get that set up. All right, well, we're going to see how hard this is to file. It's stainless steel, so we'll give it a go. Soft enough. I don't want to go past the center line on this. Let me go a little bit more. Now, a Dremel tool would be a lot easier, but I want to do this with the simplest tools that I possibly can. And this stuff is just 1/8 inch. I think it's 3/0. Can't remember what grade stainless it is, but it's just 1/8 inch round stock. I'm having a hard time getting a good flat spot on it. Here we go. I don't think that's going to be enough. We'll try it anyway. So it just goes in with the flat side out. Tell you what, we can probably get an idea, because it should like kind of fall out of that seal. It doesn't feel like it's doing it. I'm going to take some more off. You also don't want any burrs on it, to just feel for those. We'll go ahead and try that. While we're here, I figured I'd show you this. And this is just a spacer that goes in here that changes where it stops. So without it, my gauges would be looking down, but stick it in here and then it stops where I want it to, more or less, where I can see the gauges easily, and my seals are still in contact with the wall. So that's what that is. All right, the moment of truth. Okay, we're pressurized. See how easy it is to... Another thing with these, if you get to monkeying around with it and then it's real hard to screw down, you mess something up. Well, it sounds cute. Did that get it? No. So yeah, that's basically the same thing I was doing with the other one. You know what? This one might have one of those soft rubber seals in it. I'm going to check that out and put that seal in it, polyurethane seal, and if it does. So yeah, it did have the original seal in it. So let's see if this makes a difference. So that seal's a lot softer. Got a burr here, need to get rid of. Round two. Okay, so we're pressurized. Sweet. So it didn't like that squishy seal, so there is a reason to have the harder seal in it. All right, pressurized. Cool. So that's how to do that. Let me grab that seal and show you what it is. And you know, if we kept going with taking material off of that, it probably would have ended up working with the original seal. So that is what that is from the O-ring store. One last thought before we see how that valve body works with the Magnus Op seal. I did this to the other hopper that has that the valve body that we worked on yesterday, and except I did it with I did it on my lathe, and just, you know, had to where I had two different outer diameters like that pin. I don't know where it is right now. But anyway, my experience with those is they are not very smooth as far as once you crack it open. See, after you crack it open and this fills with pressure, it really shouldn't be hard to screw that down. But I've noticed that the higher pressure you use, the harder it is with those. But with this style, it feels just like a straight pin. The straight pins are always easy once you get that valve cracked open. It's just something for me to keep an eye on, I guess, and something for you to be aware of if you try this out. Okay, I just got done making sure that we've got decent alignment on both of these, and making sure that this valve or solenoid is adjusted like the majority of y'all's. And we are running the Magnus Op seal. You can't see it down in there, but it is there. All right, now first up, we're going to get a baseline with the one with poor man's BB centering, just like everybody has. Let me just verify that that is the case. So yeah, so we're gonna, that one should be giving us double shots. All right, so that one's up first. All right, we got a little leak, but we're gonna roll with it. I did have this on a pulse of 4. I'm just bringing it down to a pulse of 3 because that's what we were shooting with the other one. So here we go, singles. And that's pretty obvious. Sorry about that. Pretty obvious that we're shooting doubles. Okay. Let's try the other. All right. Now, the first one, that was 2 shots because there was still a BB in the seal. But let me see if that was 2. I think that's just the angle it's going in. No, that's just 1. Well, cool. That appears to work. Now, let's just see if we can give it the beans. So I've got a pulse of 6. Will it work right? So normally with 5K I don't go over like 4. So this might just not work. Here we go. Wait a minute, I gotta switch it off of singles. All right. Holy smokes. So that was 5K with a pulse of 6, which is ridiculous power. We might be able to go up to 7. I mean, jeez, that is freaking sick. Holy smokes. So I was right. That is so awesome. Oh my goodness. With 6S, holy smokes. Well, that's pretty big, guys. I'd been operating under the impression that de-restricting these was causing us to not be able to shoot as high pressures as we used to, because I can remember shooting 1600 psi on the regular with these, even at 4K, and I was trying to think, well, was that before I de-restricted them or after? And I've came to the conclusion that it must have been after. And then when you try to run them direct connect, it makes it even, it exacerbates the problem of not being able to put as much pressure to them. But with this little discovery that we can now put more pulse into the higher fire rates, I'll get into how I came about figuring that out in just a second. But I believe that opens the door back up to, you know, de-restricted hoppers with extreme pressures. Because 7 milliseconds is all you can put into one of these things anymore. It's going to get louder, but you won't get any more velocity. So if we can get, you know, higher pressures than 1,000 psi at 6-7 milliseconds at 5K, I mean, you're talking some serious power. Anyway, what made me think of that was when I was working on this one, doing the 10-round burst, I was shooting at the target with it pointed down, and what was happening was BBs occasionally, like I'd shoot a burst and then I'd shoot another burst, and BBs were rolling into the barrel between bursts, and I noticed it felt like really strange, and it was throwing BBs all over the target. It felt just like one of these when you put too much pulse into it, like at extreme rates. In the past, I've told you guys to tune them. Well, just put as much pulse into it, and then when it starts running rough, back it down to where it runs smooth again. Well, it felt just like that, and that was because there were multiple BBs in the barrel when this thing was going off. So with that double shot issue, that's why I think it was a timing issue where you could only run like 4 milliseconds, maybe 5 at the most. I know we used to be able to do like 5 with 4K, and with these it seems like 4 is the max. 5K anyway. So that roughness must have been multiple BBs in the barrel. And we used to have the problem of guns that weren't in tune very well, is you'll get, I thought that you would get like a BB venturied into the barrel, and then, you know, one makes it up into battery, and then it slams into the back of the slow BB right outside the barrel, and then you can see them whiz off in different directions like that. Well, this should really cut down on that also. Yeah, I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. And it's funny, you know, it keeps coming back around full circle, but back to like this thing, and then, well, maybe that did this, and maybe that had this effect on that, and it's just connecting the dots. And yeah. So anyway, next video is going to be about that stock adapter. All right, so yeah, so that's what's going on. That's why you have double shots. I'm just letting you know, I'll do my best here. I'll let you guys know the stuff that I figure out as soon as I figure it out. But yeah, anyway, I will see you on the next one. Later.